Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Jyotirmayananda Society. We focus on spirituality, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings of the scriptures and to enjoy daily satsang with us. We are currently exploring the book The Art of Positive Feeling by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. Today we will be studying a very interesting story as we are learning about the kleshas of egoism, ignorance, attachment, hatred, and fear of death, and how the ego can trick us. It's the monkey face, the story's name. Once sage Narada practiced deep meditation in a beautiful cave near the Ganges river. His austerity was so intense that Indra, the celestial lord of gods, became concerned that Narada might try to claim his throne by the force of his austerity. So Indra sent Kamadeva, the Cupid god, with his whole army to present temptations before the sage and thus disturb his peace and practice of austerity. Accordingly, Kamadeva, with his retinue of celestial attendants, went to Narada's cave. Soon the flowers burst into bounteous blossoms, and the soft breeze began to blow, and the apsaras or celestial nymphs began to sing and dance. Kamadeva, along with his attendants, exercised all their powers of allurement against the mind of Narada, but the sage remained unperturbed. When Narada could not be shaken, Kamadeva became afraid of the sage, thinking that he might destroy him by his fierce look. When Kamadeva fell at Narada's feet seeking his forgiveness, Narada simply smiled and said that he held no grudge against him, for he was merely doing his duty. As a result of this experience, however, Narada developed a subtle pride. He thought to himself, I have conquered Kama. I have excelled many sages and saints who could not prevail against the celestial temptations. With that sense of pride swelling within his heart, he went to Lord Shiva and related all that happened. Lord Shiva smiled and said, O Narada, you are a devotee of Lord Vishnu. By his grace, nothing is impossible for you. However, please do not relate this experience of yours to Lord Vishnu. Sri Narada then went to Brahma, the creator, and told him how he had defeated Kama. Lord Brahma praised him and also advised him not to relate his experience to Lord Vishnu. However, Narada did not heed to his advice and hastened to Vaikuntha where Lord Vishnu dwells. Lord Vishnu welcomed the sage and asked, O sage, I have not seen you for a long time. Where have you been? Sri Narada then told everything about his confrontation with Kama and concluded saying, O Lord, it was all by your grace that I accomplished this most difficult task, a task in which even great sages of yore have failed. Lord Vishnu smiled and said, Nothing is impossible for you, O sage. Kama is no match for you. But realizing that Narada had developed pride and was falling prey to spiritual delusion, Lord Vishnu decided to cure him of his malady. Departing from Lord Vishnu, the sage resumed his normal habits of traveling through the various lokas or worlds. Soon he passed through a kingdom which he had never seen before, a kingdom in which all men and women were exceedingly handsome and beautiful. The ruler of that kingdom was King Shilanidhi, and he had a beautiful daughter named Srimati. The time had arrived for the lovely princess to choose a suitable husband for herself, and for that purpose her father had arranged a Swayambara. According to this method of marriage, many eligible princes were invited to present themselves before the princess, who would then evaluate each suitor and place her garland on the one she chose to be her husband. Curious to find out more about this kingdom, Sri Narada went to the palace and introduced himself to King Shilanidhi. The king was delighted to have the company of the sage and asked him to give blessings to his daughter and foretell her future. When Narada looked at the astrological conditions of the princess and examined her palm, he realized that whoever married her would become the greatest person in the world. He thought within himself, why shouldn't I be the blessed suitor of this glorious princess and attain supreme greatness? However, hiding his feelings, he simply told the king that his daughter was endowed with excellent qualities and then gave her blessings. After seeing the princess, Narada could not rest in peace. He thought to himself, how am I to marry her? My austerity toned body is thin and emaciated, and the princess would not be attracted to me. Soon an idea entered his mind, and Narada invoked the presence of Lord Vishnu, his best friend and benefactor, who would surely help him secure the hand of the princess. When Lord Vishnu appeared before him, shining in his divine glory, sage Narada said, O Lord, you are the giver of all desires. I desire to marry Srimati, the daughter of King Shilanidhi. For this purpose, I want to have a body just like yours, because it is only through such beauty that I could secure the princess for myself. Lord Vishnu smiled at the power of his own Maya, cosmic illusion, which had degraded the mind of the sage to such an extent, and said, O sage, I will do all that is good for you. Thus saying, Lord Vishnu disappeared. In a moment, Narada looked at himself and found his rugged body had been transformed into the body of Lord Vishnu. With eager anticipation, he hastened his steps to the Swayamvara hall where kings and princesses from many different lands had assembled, each desiring to win the hand of the princess Srimati. Narada then took a foremost seat so that the princess was sure to behold his beauty. At the proper time, the princess entered the hall with a garland in her hands, her eyes moving eagerly in all directions in order to choose a husband. As she looked towards Narada, she immediately recoiled from him and turned away. Thinking that perhaps she had missed seeing him, Narada moved to another seat closer to the princess. But the princess again turned away from him. Narada eagerly moved into different seats, and the princess continued to avoid him. At that time, there were two messengers of the Lord Shiva. They were Shivganas, who were amused at the strange behavior of the sage. Giggling with amusement, they whispered into his ears, O sage, why don't you go and look at your face in that nearby pool of water? Out of curiosity, Narada went over to the pool and looked at himself. To his horror and frustration, he saw that he had the hideous face of a monkey. Though his body was beautiful, this hideous face had created such a strange contrast that he had become a ridiculous figure. All his dreams of glory and greatness were shattered to pieces. His mind became so filled with wrath that he turned to Shiva's attendants and pronounced a curse. You wretched souls, you who have laughed at my distress, may you incarnate as demons and suffer untold miseries at the hands of monkeys. Then, all of a sudden, a dazzling figure entered the hall. It was Lord Vishnu himself, and the princess readily offered the garland to him. As the couple was departing in a celestial chariot, Lord Vishnu stopped before the sage and asked, O sage, why are you so troubled? May I be of some help to you? At this, Narada became doubly incensed and said, You, Lord Hari, since there is no one greater than yourself who can constrain you, you continue to play tricks on your devotees and delight at their misery. Today I am going to teach you a lesson. I am pronouncing a curse on you. May you incarnate as a human being, and may you pine for the princess for whom you gave me a monkey face. Further, because of my monkey face, it is the monkeys who will be your friends in this miserable predicament. Lord Vishnu said with humility, O sage, I accept your curse. I will incarnate as Rama. The messengers of Shiva, according to your curse, will incarnate as demons. This princess, who is none other than Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, will incarnate as Sita. As Rama, I will experience untold sufferings because of my separation from Sita. I will befriend monkeys who will form an army to help me destroy the demons, whose spirits then will be resorted to their former status of being Shiva's messengers. Then once again I will be united with Sita. All this is the divine plan which will come to pass. At these words of Lord Vishnu, the inner eye of Narada was opened. As if awakened from a dream, Narada fell at the feet of Lord Vishnu, pleading, O Lord, render my curse void. I know I was deluded by avidya and Maya. Please do not let this aspect of your Maya delude my mind again. O Lord, I seek refuge in you. We will continue and finish this wonderful story in tomorrow's satsang. Hari Om Tat Sat.